You've waited long enough. Let's open some stuff. Oh, hey, what's up you guys? How's it going? It's Papa, and today is episode 4 of Sealed Only. I wanted to go ahead and thank you guys again for the inconvenience that happened last week. I didn't put out a video, but that doesn't mean the budget's going to be any different. This week, we are opening $80 of the product instead of $40. Just to make up for what happened last week. But with that $80 worth of product, it is getting spent on something big. We have Dual Devastator. Not just one though, we have 2. I got these over from Overdose Gaming. Feel free to check them out, and I'll go ahead and leave a picture up here with their logo. But yeah, thanks to Overdose Gaming, I was able to get 2 of these for a really good price. So check them out for future product. I did, however, also get 4 packs of Battles of Legend. So yes, this week it is going to be, I think, $76. So I'll just take the $4 that was going to be on that pack and just put it towards next week's budget. So next week's budget is going to be $44. But without further ado, let's open some stuff. Okay, so starting off, we have our box of Dual Devastator. I've never actually opened one of these. I do know what's in here, but we did need some good stable cards for our sealed only deck. So we do get a set of field centers, so let's see which ones we can get. So for our first, oh, it's 4 field centers, cool. So then, starting off, we got a Seto Kaiba, a Ghost Ogre, the Ghost Sister Nun and Dogwood, I think is what it's called, I don't know. And we have a Yugioh field center. Cool. So we got another pack of field centers, and starting off with the Ishizu one. Yeah, cool. Ishizu to start us off. Another Kaiba. A Mai, that's pretty tight. Ooh, that one's actually really nice. Ghost Spell and Haunted Mansion for our other field center. We have 2 bricks of Dual Devastator. I'm only going to open up one just to show you what's in the store if you don't know already. I hate opening these things. Jesus, you can see, good God, off the back already, nice and damaged. What card is this? Ah, lovely, a card that we need. Pretty good arrangement of cards, if I may be honest. Yeah, we can definitely use a lot of these. I'm not going to open up the brick or the second deck of Dual Devastator. Instead, I'm just going to get right into the packs of Battles of Legend. Again, we're looking for Invocation. It's a short print. Don't know if we'll get it. If not, then I did tell you that I had a different idea on what we can take for the deck. But let's see if we can pull that Invocation. And I think the secret was on the front, if I'm not wrong. Intruder. Alias. Secure Gardener, that's good, if we ever do actually use the Alistair. Cool. Go ahead and put that off to the side. Elephant and Armored White Bear. Second pack. Oh, I forgot to put it to the back. Fossil Fusion. Not the fusion card that we're looking for. Obedience Schooled, Appliancer Copybuckle, Galaxy Worm, and Invoked Kaliga. We could actually use that for an Instant Fusion target if we put Instant Fusion back in the deck. Next pack. Okay, let's be smart about this. Secret to the back. Okay, we got a Neos Alias, Cicada King, Vacuum Elephant, Junk Anchor, and a Danger Jackalope. Last pack, can we please get the Invocation? Okay, we got a Copybuckle, number 3, another Kaliga, Numeron Wall, and a Medulce and Jelly. No worries, nothing that we can really say or do here. Don't have a lot from Battles of Legend that we can go ahead and throw into the deck. A Jackalope might be good in the future with what I want to do for the deck now, but I mean, this is all we really have that's notable from the opening. But we do have all the cards we were looking for from Dual Devastator. So yeah, with the cards that we got from Dual Devastator, we can actually go ahead and squeeze these into the deck. I will go ahead and organize the deck, and I will be right back with the list that we're rocking with. So let's go ahead and get into what we're playing this week. Starting out for our main deck, we are playing one copy of Armageddon Knight, as well as his two best friends, double copies of Mathematician. For the Shawl component, it's basically the same from last week, 3 Beasts, 3 Squamata, and this time we're only playing 2 Hedgehog this week. We are playing 2 copies of Shaddoll Dragon still, as well as 3 copies of Rush Shaddoll Wendy with the 1 copy of Ariel. And we got some hand traps. We got 2 copies of Ash Feet and Joyous Feet. Look at all the feet. God damn, look at them feet. 2 copies of Ghost Ogre and Snow Rabbit because it is a light, and Numeron is running around probably somewhere, so don't want to lose to that. And it's a light, so you can make construct with it. That's it for the monsters. Spells, we are playing 3 copies of Allure still, as well as 2 copies of Pot of Desires. Not sure how much I still like this. I might cut it next week. 3 copies of Shaddoll Fusion still, 3 copies of El Shaddoll Fusion, 1 copy of Nef Shaddoll Fusion still. And I actually cut Super Poly down to 2, not just because they're ultra rare, but because we don't really have a whole lot to make with it. We're also playing 2 copies of Called by the Grave because we want our stuff to go off as much as possible. 1 copy of Pot of Avarice, 1 copy of Foolish Burial, and still playing the 1 copy of Rush Shaddoll Incarnation, and as well for the main deck, we're going to be playing 2 copies of Solemn Strike. For the extra deck, we are playing 3 copies of Shaddoll Construct and 3 copies of El Shaddoll Winda. We cut down from 3 to 2 for Apkaloon. It doesn't really come up that much anymore. 1 copy of Shekanaga as well, and playing 1 copy of Grista still since we are playing the Ash Blossom. I play 1 copy of Abyss Dweller in the extra deck just in case we are able to make it. If not, no worries. I would play 1 Gravity Controller, 1 Underclock Taker, 1 Landfornicus, and lastly the 1 Topologic Bomber Dragon. For the side deck, we are playing 2 copies of Danko Sekka, 2 copies of Artifact Lancia, 1 copy of Dino Wrestler Pankratops, and the 3rd copy of Ash Blossom and Joy Spring for going second. We are also playing 3 copies of Twin Twister in the X side deck as well. We also are playing 2 copies of Cosmic Cyclone because back row decks are annoying as fuck. 1 copy of Mind Control for going second as well. We also play 2 copies of Anti-Spell Fragrance for going first. And lastly, to round off the side deck, we play the 1 copy of Red Reboot. Guys, I don't know about you, but after taking the Invoke stuff out of the main deck, I honestly think that this might be a winner. I am actually really liking our chances with this deck this week. It's completely different. It's got a lot of better cards in it as well. And without the invocation, there's really no need to play the invoked cards, to be honest. I didn't really need them last week, and I don't think I'm going to need them this week. Let's go ahead and get into that gameplay and see what we can do with it. So round 1, we're starting off. I start off with my Mathematician, and I'm going to go ahead and send the Rush Shaddoll Wendy. I don't really know what the guy's playing yet, but he has a red eye symbol, so that doesn't really tell me a whole lot. But yeah, I just go and start off with my plays. I make a Winda, the usual. I have a Called by the Grave in hand, so it would have been cool if we could have used that just to show off now that we have it. He starts off with Red Eye's Insight, and my first initiation is that this guy's playing Dragoon. He starts off with Red Eye's Fusion, and if he summons Dragoon, I kind of just lose. But then he makes a Slash Dragon, and kind of confused as to why he didn't make Dragoon. Maybe he doesn't know about it. But he's also playing Gearfried the Iron Knight, so maybe he's just like playing like a rogue deck, but I don't really know. He beat over my Winda, and now I normal summon my Squamata just to go ahead and make a Link Summon and make an Underclock Taker. But now I'm going to go ahead and activate Shaddoll Fusion, make my Construct, and I always forget that even though he controls an extra monster and I control an extra monster, I forget that I can still do the send from the deck. Sometimes I like misplay and think that I can only do it when I don't control an extra deck monster, but that's not the case here. I kind of misplay because I forget to activate the Underclock Taker's effect, but Construct effect is just so broken that I'll just get rid of that Slash Dragon anyway. But I go ahead and flip the beast, draw a couple cards, get rid of that dragon and pop the back row. Just a 1-for-1. I don't know why he bluffed that, but well. I probably shouldn't have attacked that set card there because I wasn't thinking. But Construct's going to go ahead and swing here, beat over that Slash Dragon. And then I don't really know too much about what the whole Red Eyes deck does, but I do get rid of his board. But I kind of misplay there because I really didn't need to make the Winda And with the fear that he could be playing Dragoon, like I probably should have just saved the Super Poly. But it was quick, easy game one. Okay, so we're going into game two of round one, and he starts off with a Black Metal Dragon, goes into a Linkaribo, adding off that Red Eyes to hand. Does cards of Blackstone and draws a couple cards, makes a Red Eyes alternative, but that's really all he has going for him. And I start off with a Lure of Darkness and draw a couple cards, get rid of the Hedgehog in my hand. But start off with my Petition, that's probably my best normal summon. I kind of want to bump it back up to 3 just so that way I always have a good normal summon. But with the route that I want to take the deck in the near future, I feel like maybe I'll just keep them at 2. Again, I'll have that probably next week in our opening. But back to the gameplay, I make the App Clone and then just get rid of a few cards with the Aerial that I sent. And I don't really know too much about like how good this deck is, like what it really does. I see a bunch of Red Eyes cards, and I'm not too sure like what they all do. Honestly, I could just read them, but let's be honest. Do Yu-Gi-Oh players even read? Go ahead and swing for some damage here. Just bluff out the Linkaribo. Get that Apgalone to attack over the alternative. I'm really liking my odds here. Like my hand's really good. I had the Called by the Grave. I probably should have just hit that Baby Metal Dragon with the Called by the Grave anyway. But with the fear that he could be playing Dragoon, it kind of hurts. I don't know what to really save the Super Poly for, but it really just depends. He hits me with a Lava Golem, didn't really see it coming, but I don't think he really knows that I basically have game. But I don't think he really was playing Dragoon. Again, I think he was just some like newcomer and didn't really know too much about what the card actually does. Or maybe he just doesn't want to play it yet because the format hasn't started to where he's legal. So I just make a few more plays, and then I think he's starting to see the writing on the wall that he's not going to win this. Granted, my hand's not great. I do draw that Math Man, so it does kind of help, but he just scoops. Okay, so we're going into round two, and what the fuck is my hand? This hand is hot garbage. Like, thank God I'm going second, but still. We're going up against Dark Magician, it looks like. With Dark Magician, I do feel like this guy's playing Dragoon, so again, if he just makes a Dragoon, I kind of just lose if I don't have Super Poly. But looking at my hand right now, it's kind of hot garbage. Makes the Anaconda, sends the Fusion. We know where this is going.
Fuck!
So that was a nice, quick, easy game one for my opponent. I get my opening hand. I do make him go first again, but it's weird. He's playing Pot of Duality in a Dark Magician deck. I feel like maybe that's correct to do, but not if you're playing Dragoon or you're like trying to spam out Dragoon. It's a little different for me, but his deck is probably much better than mine anyway. I start off with a lure here. My hand's looking pretty spanking, not gonna lie. I do have a few more Shaddolls in hand that I want to, but I do draw the Super Poly, so I do have to save that for when he does eventually summon another Dragoon, because it's gonna happen, and that's basically my only out to it. Um, yeah, I don't really know too much about what the Dark Magician deck does. Again, like the thing that sucks about playing on this website is that you play against a lot of rogue, not really a lot of meta. So, but it is an automatic simulator, so that's why I kind of like it more than playing on Dueling Book right now. At least while I'm still learning the deck. Maybe when I do get my new product in for what I want to do, I'll start playing on Dueling Book more. But again, it just depends. He continues to draw the whatever that guy's name is. I think it's like the Oracle or something. But he keeps drawing that, and then you just get to summon it, so it's pretty broken. He does bait out my set, and it's unfortunate because I do have to get rid of it. So I just make the construct, trigger the window, but knowing him, he's probably a god. He probably has Red Eyes Fusion, but I just go ahead and make a few plays, get back my Fusion, just hope for the best, hope he doesn't have the Dragoon, because if he has the Dragoon, well, then that's all she wrote, folks. Activates the Eternal Soul, brings back the Dark Magician, attacks into my beast, activating my beast's effect. I draw some spanking cards, not gonna lie. I just wish that like I had like Judgment or something that could negate like a possible fusion, but whatever he's got for me, he's probably gonna be able to make Dragoon this turn. Yep, sends that. All he needs to do is make the Predaplant. And well, that's basically all she wrote. Yep, there's the Anaconda, pay 2,000, send Fusion, send 2 Hose, and Big Dick Energy himself, Dragoon. So we're going into our third and last round, and we're playing against Grand Maju. My hand, not really the greatest. I do have double feet, and I just go ahead and trigger off that Pot of Desires, and knowing a Grand Maju player, they're going to let me resolve that. I mean, they want as many cards banished as possible. I do draw the Armageddonite, it's kind of tight, but the only problem is I don't have a fusion. So, I don't know. I'm kind of mixed with Desires in the main deck right now. I don't really know if it's something I really want to keep in, but it's just been helping with that early consistency, but it has also, like, kind of fucked me a few times. He triggers off his own Desires, and then I go ahead and Ash that. He banishes some more cards for a Gizmek Orochi, and beats over my Armageddonite. For turn, I draw a dragon, and I make the best play I could. Dude, my deck fucking sucks sometimes, but it's whatever. I guess that's Yu-Gi-Oh! That's just how it has to be. Again, I just want to take this deck a different route next week, and it depends on if I can get the cards in time. If not, then I'll probably just open a few more packs. But again, where I want to take the deck is pretty tight, not gonna lie, but hopefully you guys like it as well. But enough of that. I go ahead and set a Hedgehog for turn, hoping he just attacks into it again, because I really need to get a Shaddoll Fusion. He fires off Extravagance, but we have the feet, so we go ahead and negate that Extravagance. He activates a Gizmek again, and we're just going to go straight to battle phase. He's going to attack into my Hedgehog, and Hedgehog is going to give me that much needed Shaddoll Fusion to my hand. And, well, we're just going to go ahead from there. But I don't really know too much that I can do, because as long as he doesn't have Grand Maju, I'm pretty sure I can go ahead and steal this game. But if I had another fusion card, it'd be much different. But since I don't, I kind of just got to make do with what I have. I go ahead and get rid of that Ogre so I can make my Construct. But he has Microcosmos, and I'm not going to be able to play the way I want to. But again, it's fine. As long as he doesn't have Grand Maju, I'm in a very good spot. And from the looks of it, I feel fine. He activates Extrav, but I think that's what gives him the game winner. 16,400 attack. For real? So going into game 2, after that brutal beating from Grand Maju, we're going second, because I don't want to get OTK'd by a fucking Grand Maju. And with 16,400 attack, there was just no way I was winning that match. And I go ahead and have a Call by the Grave, but I don't know why I kept it in going second. I probably should have just sided it out for better cards. But again, with no fusion, I kind of just have to set a card and pass. I do set the Hedgehog, though, because I want to make sure that I can get that fusion. We draw a lure, and go ahead and flip the Hedgehog. My opponent flips Dimension Shifter, but not really terrified of it. Again, as long as he doesn't have Macrocosmos, like, I'm fine. But go ahead and activate a lure, draw a couple cards, and I'm going to go ahead and trigger off another allure. And I draw a Super Poly, which is good because I can use that to make Grista to get rid of that Gremenju. Or if he's playing Gizmek, or if he has a Gizmek, then I can just get rid of it with Super Poly as well. My big worry is Eater of Millions. If he's playing Eater of Millions, then he can basically out all my cards. But again, I kind of want to save the Super Poly for that if he does play it, because I'm just as terrified as Eater of Millions as I am for Grand Maju. But the dude has Macrocosmos again, because sick one of, right? I go ahead and make an Apcolone. I attempt to go ahead and negate the Macrocosmos so that way I can have guaranteed game here if it goes through. But I get impermanence, and I don't have guaranteed game now. So I just go ahead and swing a little bit, but he has Super Poly. But I kind of get greedy here, and I just activate my own Super Poly. Not really sure why I did that. I just go ahead and make a window and just try to get as much damage in as I could. It probably was wrong for me to do that. I should have just saved it for when he did summon out a problem card. But he just goes ahead and sets a card and pass. What I should have done here is that I should have just normal summoned the Squamata and swung again. But I was worried that he had another Super Poly set and I would have just walked right into it. But if I just attacked with the Squamata, I would have had guaranteed game. And then he sets a card. And I don't know how you guys feel, but when you see a set monster and you're playing against Grand Maju, it's most likely Grand Maju. But I just go ahead and attack. And it was, but I forget that there's not a lot of cards banished, so it means nothing. Nothing at all. But then he sets another one, and that's where I get really scared, because I'm like, man, maybe it's another one. But it wasn't. It was just a bluff. It was a hand trap. And I just keep basically attacking the castle. But then he summons a Grand Maju, and now it's stronger than my window. So when it goes away, I don't even get to retrieve anything back because I have nothing in my graveyard because Macrocosmos is just that great. I go and set a card, but then he has the Eater of Millions. And I don't have a Super Poly. Should have just waited, but again, like I said, got greedy. He just goes and swings in for hella damage, 6k. And what do? Well, I activate Shaddoll Fusion. I go and I make the App Cologne. I activate App Cologne's effect, and I'm going to negate the face-up Grand Maju. And it actually goes through, and I steal the game here. And we're going to go ahead and go into a game 3. So we're going into game 3 of round 3, and if this isn't the easiest matchup that I have ever lost, then fucking I don't know what is. I go ahead and set a Cosmic Cyclone. This honestly is probably the worst game I've ever played, but probably because he was just so much better than me, and I thought I was gonna have game 3. I really did, but you see the thing is that he kind of just kicks my ass here. He has the Eater, he has the Orochi, and when it comes back to my turn, I think I have game, or not game, but at least I think I have like an answer to what I could do, but it goes a little something like this. Guys, I don't know about you, but after taking the Invoke stuff out of the main deck, I honestly think that this might be a winner. So about what he said, I was wrong. Next week, gonna be completely different. I think it's time that we take this deck, just completely shut out the Invoked engine as of right now. And I think it's time for a change. I'll see you guys next week.